The truth is, it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because a lot of the most popular self-help practices are designed to sound good, but in reality, they're setting you up to fail. If you're anything like most people, you've probably fallen into that self-help rabbit hole once or twice. You read the books, you binge the podcasts, you try out a dozen new morning routines. But after weeks, you're right back where you started, feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, and wondering why none of it actually sticks. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 self-help practices that are actually ruining your life and show you the smarter alternatives you should be doing instead if you want real, lasting results. Let's dive in. If you've been following conventional advice, you've been told to set SMART goals, right? Visualize your future self and create detailed 5-year plans. But here's the problem with this approach. When you're constantly focused on who you're supposed to become, you lose touch with who you are right now. You end up living in this constant state of not yet, not successful yet, not confident yet, not worthy yet. You're always chasing some future version of yourself instead of being present with your actual life. This happened to me for years. The more detailed my future plans became, the more disconnected I felt from my present reality. Here's what you should do instead. Set intentions, not goals. An intention is about how you want to show up today, not what you want to achieve someday. Instead of, I want to be a successful YouTuber, try, I want to create with joy. Instead of, I want to lose 20 pounds, try, I want to move my body with love. When you shift from future chasing to present moment intention, you stop waiting for permission to be who you want to be, and you start being it right now. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop chasing ideal circumstances in the distant future, they have a way of finding you in the present. But that's just the beginning, because the second practice might be even more insidious. You've probably been told to track everything, optimize your habits, build systems for 1% improvement, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Maybe you've downloaded the apps, maybe you've got the color-coded spreadsheets going on, maybe you've tried to gamify your entire existence into a series of checkboxes and streaks. But here's what happens when you do this. You turn your life into a data collection project instead of actually living it. Every day becomes about hitting metrics instead of experiencing life. You stop asking, how do I feel? And you start asking, did I hit my numbers though? You become a productivity machine instead of a human being. For months, I tracked everything myself. Steps, water intake, meditation streaks, reading minutes. I wasn't living my life, I was auditing it. Here's what you should do instead. Follow your natural rhythms. Your body already knows when it wants to move or rest or create. Instead of forcing yourself into someone else's system, start paying attention to your own natural patterns. Pay attention to how you naturally move through different energies throughout your week. Maybe you have days where you need space to think and let ideas percolate. Other days you're energized, creative, ready to play with those concepts. Then there are days when you want to structure and organize those ideas that you've been marinating on. And sometimes there's days when you are just ready to execute and build. If you try to force yourself to be in execute mode every single day, you'll burn out. But when you honor those natural cycles that you have, you actually get more done with less effort. The goal isn't to become a habit robot. It's to become more of who you naturally are. Which brings me to the third practice that's secretly sabotaging your progress. You've been told to read more books, take more courses, listen to more podcasts. The next piece of content will be the one that finally gets your life on track. And if you're being honest, you probably recognize this pattern in yourself. Every week you download a new audiobook or sign up for another course. You have this constant feeling that you're just one book away from figuring it all out. But here's what's actually happening. You're using learning as a substitute for living. Consuming self-help content becomes your way of feeling productive without actually doing anything. It gives you the illusion of progress while keeping you safely in your own comfort zone. I was completely addicted to this for years. This productivity system will be different for me. This mindset book has the missing piece that I need. But I wasn't learning. I was avoiding taking action on what I already knew I needed to be doing. So here's what you should do instead. Create more than you consume. For every hour that you spend consuming something, spend 2 hours applying something that you already know. Instead of asking, what else do I need to learn? Ask, what do I already know that I'm not using right now? Most of the time, the answer isn't more content. It's the courage to act on what you've already learned. Start creating something, anything, with the knowledge that you already have. Write one paragraph, record one video, have one conversation, build one small thing. And here's why this works. Creation teaches you more in 1 hour than consumption teaches you in an entire month. When you create, you discover what you actually know versus what you thought you knew. The breakthrough isn't in the next book. It's in finally using the wisdom that you've already accrued. And here's the thing about creation. It requires presence, not perfection, which is why the fourth practice is so problematic. You've been told to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for 20 minutes, journal for 10, exercise for 45, read for 30, drink lemon water, take cold showers, and do it all in that exact order before 6 a.m. every single day. And here's what happens when you try this. Your morning practice becomes a performance instead of an actual practice. You wake up not to a new day, but to a new test. You're not checking in with yourself, you're checking off of a list. And if you miss one piece, if you sleep in or you skip something or just forget, your whole day feels ruined. You spend the rest of the day feeling like you're behind, like you've already failed before most people are even awake yet. I tried this exact approach for months myself. It all looked impressive on paper, but it turned my mornings into a military operation instead of a peaceful start to the day. Here's what you should do instead. Create space, not structure. What if your morning was just about noticing? Noticing how you feel when you wake up, noticing what your body needs, noticing what's alive in you today. Try this. Replace your rigid morning sequence with one simple practice. Maybe it's 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing. Maybe it's 5 minutes of quiet breathing. Maybe it's just sitting with your coffee and looking out your window. No timer, no format, no required insights. Just space to be with yourself before the day demands your attention. The goal isn't to optimize your morning. It's to connect with yourself. When you start the day in connection rather than performance mode, everything that follows feels more authentic and sustainable. Which brings me to the 5th and most dangerous practice of all. You've been told to stop procrastinating. Time block everything, eliminate distractions. If it's not productive, it's not valuable. Get things done, hustle harder. Every moment should be optimized. And if you bought into this mindset, you've probably felt guilty anytime you're not being productive. If you're staring out the window, you're wasting time. If you're taking a walk without a podcast on, you're being lazy. If you're just thinking, you clearly need to be getting back to work. But here's what this productivity obsession actually does. It disconnects you from your natural creative process. Sometimes what looks like procrastination is actually your creativity trying to emerge. I lived this way for years myself, feeling guilty about any moment that didn't look like progress. But my best ideas never came when I was forcing them. They came in the shower or on walks with my dog, in quiet moments when I wasn't trying to be productive, when I was mowing my yard. So here's what you should do instead. Honor what wants to emerge. Instead of asking, how can I be more productive? Ask, what's trying to move through me right now? Sometimes it's focused work, sometimes it's rest, sometimes it's a walk where your mind can just wander, sometimes it's that random creative impulse that doesn't fit your schedule. Give yourself permission to follow your natural creative rhythms. Create space for ideas to find you, instead of forcing them to appear on your command. Pay attention to when your best insights come. For most people, it's not during their productivity blocks. It's during the in-between moments when they're not trying so hard. What looks like procrastination might actually be your inner voice trying to get your attention. And when you learn to honor that, you'll discover a kind of productivity that doesn't feel like work. It feels like flow. So here's what I've learned after years of self-help addiction. The self-help industry wants you to believe that you're broken and you need fixing ASAP. But what if you're not broken? What if you just need to stop trying so hard to be someone else? Real transformation doesn't come from adding more to your life. It comes from removing what's not actually you. Instead of asking, how can I improve myself? Try asking, how can I be more myself? And the answer to that question is probably simpler than you think. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one self-help practice that you're ready to let go of? And if this resonated with you, I've got another video that goes deeper into finding your authentic center in a world that's constantly trying to tell you to be someone else. It's right here when you're ready. Thanks for watching.